by Bernhard Genther, December 15, 2022, from Veil of Reality website. Introduction. I remember the days in the 90s when no one had a cell phone. I was in my 20s back then. When you were on vacation or just out and about, getting groceries or hanging out with your friends, no one could get a hold of you, and no one you were hanging out with would get distracted by a device in their pocket. Maybe, at best, you had a message on the answering machine of your landline when you got home, but that was about it. Fast forward 30 years, and most people can't even live without their smartphone anymore. And not only for practical and/or business reasons, but mainly because they are addicted to the dopamine hits they get when checking email, messages, social media, posting photos, playing games, or just browsing the internet. High-speed internet has also eroded most people's attention span, focus, and concentration by design to dumb down the masses. If you're one of those people, you'll most likely have problems finishing reading this article. We live in the digital age of information. AI, artificial intelligence, has already taken over many tasks, and its role in our lives is only increasing exponentially as we move into a transhumanism age with its attempt to merge man with machine. My intention with this article is not to blackpill anyone, nor is it to project a doom and gloom fear frequency into the future. My intention is to give a sober reality check regarding the potential dangers of transhumanism AI for the ones with eyes to see and ears to hear. I hope that with this awareness, we can become more conscious, instead of being taken over by AI through our unconscious programming, wounds, and blind spots. My hope is you can use this information as an inspiration and catalyst to deepen your inner work, your connection to the divine, and embrace the friction and battle to rise up as the spiritual warriors you came here to be during this time of transition, maximizing your soul potential in the process of awakening. AI transhumanism is a very big topic. You could write a series of books about its dangers and benefits based on whatever angle you tackle it from. To be clear, I don't see this topic in black or white myself either. I'm not anti-technology. This article is not about rejecting technology, just retreating into the woods and living as our ancestors did. I'm not interested in reviving an archaic past. I embrace the pull of the future in this ongoing adventure of consciousness. I enjoy technology and its conscious use, and I'm also not completely opposed to AI. But I am also in favor of organic soul evolution and activating my inner technology, DNA activation, via the great work to spiritualize my being and not letting outer technology use me instead. In fact, it is inevitable. AI, the metaverse, and VR, virtual reality, will change humanity over the next 20 years in ways most people are not prepared for. Nothing can stop it either, as it's already underway. Read the Twitter thread below for a taste of it. For a consciousness trap, soul harvesting and body snatching technology has many benefits and positive aspects, if used with the right consciousness. However, anyone with common sense, deeper awareness, and conscience, especially one who is not a materialist atheist, can see the immense dangers of the AI and transhumanism agenda. From an occult spiritual perspective, this agenda could further entrap humanity and diminish the human soul and spirit. Lisa Renee summarized it well, written in 2015.
Transhumanism is an international, cultural, and intellectual movement with an eventual goal of fundamentally transforming the human condition by making available technologies that greatly enhance human intellectual, physical, and psychological capacities. Many transhumanists believe in the compatibility between the human mind and computer hardware, with the implication that human consciousness can be transferred to alternative media, known as mind uploading. Since the science of the soul and the consciousness functions of the spiritual bodies have not yet been discovered by scientists, this has potentially extremely destructive consequences to human consciousness and the electromagnetic functions of the light body.
Transhumanism is a school of thought that seeks to guide us towards a post-human condition. Essentially, this is about creating artificially intelligent hybrids or cyborgs to replace the organic spiritual consciousness of humans. Some of the proposed biological enhancements are using some combination of technologies such as genetic engineering, psychopharmacology, life extension therapies, neural interfaces, brain mapping, wearable or implanted computers, and entrainment of cognitive techniques. Most of these options are designed to disconnect the human soul from the human body and prepare the body to be used as a shell for a new host. Effectively, this is integrating technological and pharmaceutical hybridization to damage human DNA as preparation for body snatching. Note: now we can see the real purpose of the COVID mRNA vaccine, as I've written about before. The fundamental basis of the transhumanism concept is the AI downloaded into the scientific human mind from the negative aliens and satanic forces in their quest to survive and achieve immortality by hijacking human consciousness and ultimately possessing the human host body. They do not have flesh and bone bodies and covet ours. Transhumanism stresses the evolutionary perspective, yet it completely ignores the electromagnetic function of human DNA and the consciousness reality of the multidimensional human soul spirit. They claim to want to stop human suffering but have no idea of the alien machinery and mind control implants used to imprison human consciousness. They know nothing about the afterlife, what happens during the death of the body, or even how the human body or universe really works, yet they want to control every aspect of the human body with artificial technology. A primary goal of many transhumanists is to convince the public that embracing radical technology and science is in the human species' best interest. With the false god alien religions used to spread the rhetoric of fear and mindless obedience on one end, and the primarily atheistic science used to mock all things religious. Without any comprehension of true spiritual understanding on the other, they have the bases covered. Consciousness and spiritual groups are quickly labeled conspiracy theorists by scientists to intimidate, discredit, and shut us up. The quest for biological immortality is ludicrous when experiencing the capability of human multidimensional consciousness. After the human body expires, if the undeveloped and disembodied consciousness is merged and assimilated into artificial intelligence, the remnants of that human soul will not have a human body to incarnate into any longer. Hence, that person will lose their connection to organic spiritual biology and cease to be human. Transhumanism is a consciousness trap. Archons and many of these negative groups are inherently parasites that require human life force and must feed on consciousness energy to survive. The transhumanism movement is another level of the NAOA, negative alien agenda, satanic agenda, to gain full control over the biological, neurological, and brain networks of human beings, thus controlling the human collective consciousness. Mind control is about complete control over the central neurological system and controlling all impulses firing into the brain centers. Once technology or an entity has control over the human neurological system and brain, they easily hack into the soul and siphon consciousness energy. If they are successful in marketing transhumanism as the next sexy trend, made attractive with promises of human immortality and superhuman powers, they open the door wide to satanic force possession of technologically hybridized human bodies. These dark entities have been denied access into higher dimensional realms, and they think that if they possess human bodies, they can ride the human consciousness like a galactic hitchhiker. The grand deception of transhumanism is widely promoted as humans having control over their own evolution, when what they are really doing is selling their soul and losing access to organic human consciousness. Let's not forget that billions of people have taken the COVID mRNA vaccine, which we already know changes the DNA and has severely detrimental effects on the soul, spirit, and life after death. Its side effects go way beyond the harmful effects on the physical body. The COVID vaccine PSYOP has laid the groundwork for the transhumanism agenda, soul-snatching depopulation, as Lisa pointed out above, via integrating technological and pharmaceutical hybridization to damage human DNA as preparation for body snatching. I've written an in-depth article on this topic and the metaphysical consequences of the COVID jab based on the work of Thomas Mayer. I would consider it required reading in light of the transhumanism agenda. COVID vaccines, consequences on the soul, spirit, and life after death. Thomas Mayer identified in his research the Seratic transhumanism spirits, which are a special group of Seratic beings called transhumanism spirits because they seem to inspire transhumanism. These are central to the understanding of COVID-19 and the vaccines. Since these beings are associated with the very highest adversarial powers, it can be assumed that all processes emanating from them are extremely harmful to humans. The temptation of AI and artificial beauty. The negative aspects of AI and transhumanism sneak themselves into our lives through cultural and social trends via both temptation and deception. For example, recently, there has been a big hype about the Lensa AI app. I found it bizarre to witness how many people suddenly jumped mechanically on the AI avatar trend and substituted their real-life social media profile pic with a new, shiny, AI-generated pic. I watched how even people who tend to speak out against the Great Reset, transhumanism, AI takeover had taken the bait. Can you see the temptation and unconscious occult psychic programming behind these AI photos and where they could lead to? This is just the beginning. Sure, it's fun to see an AI version of yourself, but this is how slowly and surely humanity can be conditioned and programmed under the pretense of fun to identify more with an artificial, fake, virtual version of themselves at the cost of their humanness, soul, and natural beauty. Soon people won't be interacting with their real selves face-to-face anymore, but will be more accustomed to and comfortable with interacting from fake avatars to fake avatars. As humanity gets increasingly disembodied, this collective state of disassociation is the perfect entry point for other forces to come in. I see it unfolding with the metaverse and VR takeover over the next 2 decades, especially when Pluto moves into Aquarius. It's very tempting, especially to insecure people running unconscious, "I'm not good enough," or "I'm not pretty, sexy enough" programs to desire to see an upgraded AI version of themselves. These simulated AI versions of themselves can easily match their most idealized self. It can also relate to spiritual bypassing, where one creates a new spiritual identity and image to bypass facing certain psychological issues. I've seen some people argue and rationalize that these AI versions of themselves help them meditate on how their ascended or higher self would look in 5D. This justification is a good example of how the wounded ego can easily hijack spiritual concepts for its inflation. AI technology can easily start to use you and program you without you being aware of it, especially when it begins to distort the way you see yourself and others, tagging into your trauma, lower nature desires, vanity, and insecurity. As Lisa Renee outlined in the quote above, there are many occult, hidden aspects of AI to consider in light of the bigger picture and the soul harvesting agenda. The AI transhumanism topic is also one I've written about for many years in light of the evolution of consciousness and the splitting of humanity. For not everyone is here to awaken during this cycle. More here. Timeline reality split, frequency vibration, and the hidden forces of life. In the fact, unhealed trauma is the easiest entry point for the AI transhumanism takeover because a state of disassociation, disembodiment, can make it easier to dislodge the soul from the body and prepare the human body to become an incarnational vessel for occult entities and hyperdimensional forces to take over. The war is through us. The dangling golden carrot, which most people are tempted by, is their desire for superficial physical beauty and an obsession with having the perfect face and body, which is something these technologies can easily offer us. I can already see the next wave of body image issues and dysmorphia that could come of this, as more and more people are already willing to mutilate their bodies with cosmetic surgery, Botox, and fillers to look like the photoshopped, heavily filtered pictures of themselves. Next, they may ask their surgeon or Botox injector to help them look more like the AI version of themselves. The perfection they are looking for is programmed into them based on beauty standards made popular by ever more synthetic and computerized images, along with what society and all the celebrity influencers, who probably sold their souls a long time ago, tell them what is currently hot and sexy. It's not based on any standards of God-given natural beauty. Our idea of beauty has already become more artificial. The epidemic of cosmetic surgeries, Botox, and fillers. As a result, we see an epidemic of Botox and lip filler injections. Women in their early 20s and even younger are now turning to Botox and fillers, chasing the ideal beauty standard they see popularized by their favorite influencers on social media. No one seems to point out this elephant in the living room, perhaps because it has become so normalized that we're already accustomed to seeing it everywhere. People seem to have forgotten how to age gracefully. A side effect of being disconnected from your soul and essence is that you can become more easily conditioned by culture to act like a programmed automaton, mechanically doing what culture and society condition you to do. Cosmetic surgeries and injections are most often based on unconscious trauma responses as we try to fit into a world where pathologies have become normalized. Editing our face can be used as a mask for insecurities, or it can just be a mating strategy to get more attention from others. It's sad and disturbing to witness this kind of MK Ultra mind programming happening on a mass scale. I believe that the distortion of natural God-given beauty will lay the ground conditions for technocratic takeover and elimination of the soul under the feet of the AI God. We are already electively augmenting our bodies and faces into more artificial versions of ourselves. AI and transhumanism will just take that a few steps further. This takeover will not happen by force. The devil is far too clever for that. The adverse occult forces understand the universal law that they need your consent to get you into an entrapment of agreement, a bargain for your soul. We're talking about subtle occult agreements people make with these forces under the illusion that it was their conscious choice. Throughout the years, I've always emphasized in my writings and videos that the war is through us, and that the alien invasion is happening through our bodies via people's manipulated consent. It is hyperdimensional warfare on occult levels outside the range of the five senses. Michael Topper called this process negative stalking. We have to understand here that the true negative realm agenda is to eat consciousness. So, this actually prevents an overt takeover in literal physical terms. If an invasion was detected, this would mean that the veil would be lifted and all would see the man behind the curtain and would be disgusted and turn away. Just as in the Wizard of Oz, those ruby slippers have to be obtained very carefully. Gathering the essence is an art of great subtlety. The negative alien plan is, in its purest sense, stalking. The aim of stalking is to create a completely controlled artificial environment composed of thoroughly predictable human behaviors, made predictable because they have been programmed to respond to cues of conditioning. The primary object of negative stalking is to persuade through strongly influenced, but not robotic, behavior patterns, the free choice of the targeted consciousness to align with negative higher density existence. Because in the long run, the object is the eating of functioning units of consciousness by the negative hierarchy with free will intact. It is not good food otherwise. Michael Topper from The Positive Negative Realms of Higher Densities. However, as I explained in a recent video on how can we defeat the Great Reset and technocratic world government, AI and technology themselves are not the issues. It's about the intention and consciousness behind it. The erosion of human creativity and relationships. I think AI can be a great tool for artists, but there have already been ethical concerns of artists who saw their art being stolen by AI apps and programs. Read this post for more. At the same time, it has the potential to erode organic human creativity. There are already AI apps that write articles for you, create marketing and copywriting material for your business, produce content for websites and social media, films made by AI, etc. There is a fine line between using technology and AI as tools for creativity, instead of letting machines do all the work, taking your power away that your soul can harness in being creative yourself, along with learning skills to infuse your work with your unique creative expression, soul, and spirit. Ironically, we can see humans also imitating AI already, as it has become normalized on social media to copy, imitate, and plagiarize others' material. However, you can never imitate and copy the human soul and its authenticity, originality, and creativity. The most perfect AI-created art form still lacks the soul impression of the creator. Anyone with psychic sensitivity can see through any AI-created image, film, article, or marketing. It lacks depth and only displays cold, calculated, superficial perfection. People not in touch with their souls can be easily deceived by it. But suppose you are in touch with your essence and divine nature. In that case, you will experience what is called uncanny valley when looking at some of the AI-generated deepfake images, videos, articles, or even cyborgs, which will create a sense of unease in you. If you experience that, it means your spiritual immune system is intact. The uncanny valley phenomenon can be described as an eerie or unsettling feeling that some people experience in response to not quite human figures like humanoid robots and lifelike computer-generated characters. What is the uncanny valley even more so? Porn and sex content will skyrocket with AI and VR, getting more people, especially young boys and men, hooked on the sexual loosh of dopamine hits, which feeds occult forces of other realms. Alex Becker, the founder of the AI software Hyros AI Ad Tracking, pointed out the dangers of AI becoming soulless black magic and its potential to destroy human relationships. I don't deny the incredible 1000x potential all this AI stuff is giving us, but I also think this shit is soulless black magic. Humans, our brains, and our societal organization are not capable of existing with it if it keeps up much longer. The supply of anything good, art, information, interaction, sex, is about to explode to a level so high that everything, in turn, also becomes cheap and empty. Men, for example, are already sitting in their houses endlessly creating lewd pictures, each one improving and releasing more dopamine each time they click generate from the AI. XXX content online has already cheapened human relationships 100x. This completely removes other humans from the equation and breaks down how the human experience is supposed to work. A man can now sit in his house and just press generate over and over and be shown his wildest, most specific fantasies, and each press of generating effortlessly gives him another unique hit. It's cheapening the purposes of other humans while giving extreme gratification and everything another human could offer from a limitless computer. Which begs the question, at what point are we just better off sticking an IV in our arm and sitting around endlessly fulfilled and amused by AIs? Why build businesses? At one point soon, it'll just be AIs building products for other AIs that generate money for people to sit at home and be endlessly entertained by AIs. No one will make movies, art, writing, or anything. We will literally just be chimps mashing the generate button over and over and sharing the results with each other. Hell, we will actually just train AIs to write prompts for other trained AIs and then vegetate on what they produce. Zero humanity. This is just the tippity-tip beer start. This is too big of a hack for humans to have, and it ruins the entire game-much experience of our lives by cheapening everything we have to offer other humans. It's going to turn us into something that isn't human and can't appreciate human limits. I'm again not saying it's not going to move us forward. I'm saying it severely cheapens humans and what makes us special. Because if analyzed enough, we can reduce special down to a repeatable, endlessly reproducible process that can be done effortlessly by a computer. To the point that other humans, our interactions with them, and the entire point of us interacting is pointless. We can just get it from a computer. IMO sometimes preserving humanity and the special things in life is worth more than progress. The trend is not your friend. Wetico. In action. A good gauge to see how truly individuated you are is how easily you follow trends or anything that is hyped by the masses, be it the AI selfie avatar hype, the Botox and lip filler trend, or the woke non-binary pronouns trend. Every generation and social class has its trends. Many of them were artificially introduced for social engineering for population control. They didn't arise organically from the hippie acid culture of make love not war, turn on, tune in, drop out, to Black Lives Matter. permanently changing your body and appearance based on these trends popular today, has more severe consequences and side effects on a physical, psychological, and spiritual level than most people are aware of. These permanent physical changes people are lured with will increase with the dawn of transhumanism to mutilate the physical body even more. As a result, human bodies are being primed for incarnational opportunities for hyperdimensional beings to come in as the soul is dislodged from the vessel. The soul will literally reject the body at some point the more it is artificially altered. Transgenderism and forcefully trying to change one's gender appearance via surgery, puberty blockers, and hormonal drugs ties right into the transhumanism agenda. Once babies are grown in incubators, without natural pregnancy in the womb of a biological woman, the takeover of these forces will become even easier. Many humans will take the bait as being offered the genetically engineered, perfect child, created in a tube without the stress of pregnancy will seem appealing to them, but it will come with a heavy spiritual price. Get a taste of what is coming in this concept animation. Anyone who falls for this artificial AI-controlled birthing option has already lost their connection to the divine, their soul, or is already soulless. They have become the Agent Smith minions for archonic occult entities, using them to create their desired vessels for them. The same applies to the past few years with all the masking, social distancing, and the many other rules people just followed because everyone else was doing it and/or an authority told them to do so, including getting the COVID jab. The consensus jock mainstream of the masses, about 80% of humanity, is a group hive mind with no individuated souls by nature. Individuation, not to be mistaken with the cultural concept of individuality, comes at a later stage of soul evolution and doesn't necessarily happen for everyone within a lifetime. This individuation process requires effort and deep inner work to resist the pull and temptations of the collective slumber of the masses, the social programming and conditioning in order to anchor oneself in the true self or real I. It is also an aspect of the great work. To become truly individuated and soul-embodied is the way out of the matrix. During this dark age of the Kali Yuga cycle, we see more sexual pathologies, narcissism, and psychopathy being normalized in society and promoted as desirable and normal. It is Wetiko in action. Wetiko is a sickness of the soul or spirit where pathologies and evil become normalized. This is how evil operates, and most people are oblivious to it and instead have become unconscious agents of evil. We can see it in the anti-divine ideologies, inverted divine law of the woke cult, non-binary gender identities, neo-cultural Marxism, normalized pathological sexual fetishes, etc. All of which can be suggestions of occult forces either temporarily working through people and/or have taken them over completely. Many of these normalized pathologies have also infiltrated pop spiritual communities, New Age, Neo-Tantra, as well as the coaching and therapy space. Most recently, we can see Wetiko in action on social media with this recent AI avatar hype, and how easily people were tempted into using it. We can see Wetiko in action on the other side as well, with the new rise of Old Testament-style, self-righteous, dogmatic Christianity and its missionary complex. There seems to be a revival of nostalgia to want to return to the past with the rise of traditionalism. This is not to say that tradition doesn't have value, but this rise seems to be based on a knee-jerk reaction to the progressivism of the left, along with containing its own trauma responses as well. Both left and right contribute to evil in their own way, and are more similar than they want to admit with their dogmatic behavior and black-white thinking, while each points at the other as the problem, creating a dual shadow projection between each other. In their extremes, they are two sides of the same coin. It also ties into the trap of identification. It's very important to understand how we can easily become unwitting agents of Wetiko. For we all have the potential for evil within. It's part of our shadow. No one is exempt, and if you think you are exempt and you think you are only good and virtuous and see only evil out there in others, then you have already become a Wetiko-infected agent of evil, and the Matrix has you. Wetico-infused evil is not very obvious but works in more subtle ways. It tags into your unacknowledged shadow, traumas and weaknesses, giving you thought suggestions and desires not of your own, working with temptation while targeting your lower nature of vanity, lust, greed, narcissism, etc. I recommend listening to our Cosmic Merrick episode, What Facing Evil Can Teach You, for more on this topic, and the different types of evil. What Facing Evil Can Teach You, TCM Thucker 98, Part 1. We are being lured with the counterfeit of what we are actually yearning for, which is the divine and true soul being within us to come more forward. The looming age of AI and transhumanism will be a battle over our souls, as it already is. It can't be stopped and will change the world and humanity in unimaginable ways. It will overtake most people, for we are not ready for it based on humans' average level of being. Keep in mind that the vast majority of big tech players and AI transhumanism proponents and developers are materialists who do not recognize a spiritual reality, let alone a soul or the divine. They are the atheist black magicians who want to play God. Most regular people do not have the soul capacity, emotional, psychological, and spiritual intelligence to handle this technology with a conscience but are driven by a mechanical attachment to conditioned desires, stuck in materialism, addicted to pleasure, dopamine physical appearance, as opposed to healthy, grounded, conscious, holistic self-care of body, mind, and soul. Soul embodiment and the necessity for psycho-spiritual self-work. If you are not actively engaged in psychological and spiritual self-work to uncover the truth of your being and grow your soul, making it the master of your life instead of letting your conditioned, wounded ego personality run the show, you'll be more vulnerable to this deception and takeover. The only way out of the AI transhumanism trap is soul embodiment. The more you are connected to your soul, your essence, anchor it within yourself and make it the master over your life, not the conditioned ego personality, the less you will be tempted or affected by this AI takeover and all the programming and conditioning. In fact, you will naturally reject it, like a healthy immune system rejects any pathogens. You won't feel the need to artificially change your appearance, be it via creating AI versions of yourself or getting surgeries, Botox, or cosmetic injections. The more grounded you are in your being, the more you will shine with pure divine beauty emanating from your soul. You will be at peace with joy and contentment within yourself, outshining darkness with your authentic inner light. At the same, you'll be able to use this technology based on higher, divine, soul-infused consciousness and conscience with integrity. I have said it for years, and it's becoming increasingly obvious. This is a war over your soul, literally. No hyperbole. The hostile forces work via temptation, targeting your weaknesses and insecurities. In culture, it shows up as a trend. The fewer people act out of free will, the easier they can be taken over by the collective psychosis of the masses. Humility is needed to see how easily you can get programmed and sucked into mass psych.